So the fundamental process of yoga, to put it very simply, it's a process of uncovering. You're peeling the layers that you've become so deeply identified with. And this is what happens in meditation. If you could observe the mind through pure attention, because after all, you cannot truly understand the mind through analysis. That's the misunderstanding in psychology. If you looked in psychology, you'll find there's many different schools of psychology. Freudian psychology. Sigmund Freud, much of his interpretation is a lot of the problems of human life, it's because of sexuality, sexual repression. That has some kind of truth to it. Somebody like Adler, he says, human beings are driven by the will to power. That also has some truth to it if you're identified with the ego. But again, this is only touching on a small aspect of what is the mind. This is why to truly understand something which is so multidimensional like the mind, one can truly only understand it not through analysis, through observation. And that is exactly what is involved in the process of meditation. Direct observation of the mind, which is why one must practice the science of concentration. Why concentration? We find if you can observe something within you without prejudice, neither liking nor disliking, without getting caught up in attachment, that brings you a seed of clarity. This seed of clarity brings you wisdom. Out of wisdom comes freedom. So if you can watch your thought processes, and gradually you find the thought processes are coming to a stillness, then that shows very clearly you cannot be your thought process. Watching your emotions, if you find again the same story through a stream of pure observation, the emotions are coming to a stillness. That makes very clear evidence that you cannot be your emotions. If these things have disappeared and you're still there, that means you cannot be these things. So similarly, continue observing everything that's happening within you. And you'll find through a stream of pure attention, once the mind has become completely calm and silent, then the mind has this quality which is just like a mirror. And what remains, which is your true nature, that is what shines forth in your consciousness. So it's just like water. Think of the mind like a lake. So, upon this lake, we have ripples and vibrations. These are the thought processes, mental impressions. But the lake also has many depths to it. What is that? Conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind. Many depths of the mind. What is your true nature? That which lies at the bottom of the lake. Now, why always in yoga we emphasize bringing the mind to a stillness? Because if you're looking in running water, you cannot see your true face. But once the waters of your consciousness have become totally still, that which lies at the bottom of the lake becomes clear to you. And that is precisely what is involved in the process of meditation. So what we are practicing here is we are preparing the space through breath control techniques, which are intended to purify the physical system. In fact, unfortunately, that part which has become popular in yoga in the West is only the physical aspect of yoga, and that's not even scratching 5% of what is yoga. The original science behind why these physical postures were practiced in the first place has been lost. Now it's just become like a commercialized force. People are just thinking yoga is about bending and twisting the body in various different ways. Why the physical aspect of yoga was practiced was because it was found very early on that if people try to observe their own mind directly, they find it is a great struggle. We're living our life, we have a whole history book behind us. When I say history book, I don't only mean memories we picked up from birth to the present moment. I'm talking about memories that you have inherited through thousands of years of evolution. This is very clear. If you have a child, a newborn child, without training the child anything, without giving him any kind of instruction, he knows exactly where to go to the mother's breast for nourishment. How is that possible? You can say it's because of instinct. But instinct is just a word. How do you have this instinct if not from previous experience? Just like when you're playing the notes on the piano. In the beginning, you need to make a little bit of effort to get the right notes. But through repetition, what happens? It becomes automatic. Instinct is just the impressions of past experience. So if a child knows exactly where to go to the mother's breast for nourishment, that means that you have his impressions and memories within you that are not just limited to this life. You can call it DNA, genetics, you can look at it physically, but it comes down to the same thing. So when we begin sitting in meditation, we have this huge bulk of history behind us. Whether we do something or whether we do nothing, we're just operating by our programming. So several stages in yogi's thought. Since people are having a struggle with meditation, how can we create tools and techniques to prepare the inner atmosphere so that then once you start sitting in meditation, you just simply ease into it so gracefully. So from that, they thought, okay, purify the physical system. Since there is no division between mind and body, and that is one of the essential understandings, every thought we have, every emotion actually has a physical effect on the body. And this is why today there's so many stress-related diseases. That's called psychosomatic. There's the opposite also. There's something called somasomatic, which is the influence of the body on the mind. This is a two-way street. Energies are traveling in both directions. So first, cleanse the physical system. If you cleanse the physical system, then you find there comes a purification of the energy of the mind. And with a prepared slate like this, then when you start sitting in meditation, you simply gracefully, it tends to be more supportive. So we wanted to create a science where everything in the nervous system is supportive for inner exploration. So that is the reason behind the physical aspect of yoga.